What's up? How's everybody doing? How busy? Sorry, I have been taking a break from caffeine. I've been doing some Alpha Brain by Onnit, and I've noticed it actually increase in my energy, which is ridiculous. I've been taking some cold showers. I do that usually like 3 months out of the year. You just got to be warned. If you're a dude and you take cold showers, your libido will go up, which means, you know, that peen and bean work is going to go up. You know what I'm saying? You know, that love hammer. Love hammer. What the hell? Oh, man, it is a silly goose time. I got to work out with everybody. It is great. It is my first official day where I don't actually have to do anything. I just had to do the podcast, which I was excited. And man, you know, I was been talking the past week on some guests that we're going to have coming up. I got a month and a half, 2 months of guest schedule out. So that feels great. And I have some really good people that I've been wanting to talk to myself, and I think will make interesting conversation. So these past couple of weeks have been very enjoyable, you know, for me. And I think it has a lot to do with just my attitude. I'm growing up. And those of you who know when you're meant to change and you're forced to change, or you need to change and you kind of lean into it. I'm not really leaning away from it, leaning full into it, full send. So it has been an extremely enjoyable experience. And I hope that all of you can understand that I am a fool. I'm a failure. I am a incomplete person. I am a damaged. I am all of those things, plenty of trauma. And I am simply in pursuit of trying to make better with all of those things, and I'm in pursuit of, just really finding myself. And I think I'm really getting into I'm leaning into that now more than ever. And I think that with having the conversations that I've had with people outside of here and the conversations I've had inside here, it's been so helpful for me. And it's not to say that, you know, it's like if you have trauma, if you have all those things, I'm not, and to some people it sounds like you're almost like bragging about, you know, how much shit you've been through. But I think it's more important to understand and at least recognize what is. So I've recognized what is, and now I'm, you know, trying to, I think, fix it, which has been, you know, a hell of a good time. So I've been focusing more on the mental stuff, which is why I started doing the cold showers again, because I remember accomplishing quite a bit at that time. And it's more mental for me. I'm trying to cut back on caffeine, because caffeine is like, I mean, really winds you up, but also, you know, it really, you know, messes with your testosterone as well. You know, so for me, I enjoy maybe like 1 cup of coffee, but I don't want to have a shitload of coffee because I'm already an uppity person, so I don't need it. But that Alpha Brain stuff works really well. I've been also taking lion's mane mushrooms for probably like 4 years now, ever since that Paul Stamets podcast on Joe Rogan Experience 2. You know, that was a profound thing for me, because I'm up for like 15, 16 hours. I'm training for like 12 to 13 hours a day. You know, so for me, it's like you forget a lot of things. You do a lot of things. So anything to give you kind of more memory and focus and mental edge is good. Host Defense is a great company. Guys can go by. I'm not sponsored. I don't have any affiliation. I just really like their products, because it definitely helps. It helps, definitely helps you stay a little bit more organized. I've noticed that, like, just with taking it these past 2 weeks again, that feels good. So I have like these allergies in my nose. My giant nose is running. I have not a tissue in sight. So I have had the most interesting hell yeah versus hell no. And I know this is early, but we're going to get into it because it is hilarious. I have never, sorry, I have never dealt with so many people hitting the hell yeah button or hell no button and then giving me this long form explanation on some of the things that they're saying. So I think we need to get into this right away. And the reason why is because it might take a while. So we're going to get into the first one, which I think was just hilarious, just to put it the way that I put it. So we're going to get into this hell yeah versus hell no. So the first one, divorce. Now, you could tell by so many people who have been ruined by divorce that when they put hell yeah, when they put hell yeah that they believe in divorce, there was a caveat like, it helped my mom and my dad. Like, you could tell, like, the amount of people who have been ruined by divorce, like just massacred by divorce, financially, emotionally, the trauma, 2 Christmases. Oh my God. It's great. Dad picks me up on Saturdays, Sorry. I'm a product of divorce, too. My parents had a disgusting divorce. It was friggin' awful. I mean, one of the worst. I think that was actually the catalyst for me to, that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me to then leave. I pretty much, left my house at a very, very young age. My parents were just desecrated by the divorce. So I don't look at it like how people look at it. I look at it as just something that happened to me. I can sit here and say, all the stuff that I want with it. Sorry, this booger is gonna annoy me if I don't get it out of my nose. So I'll be right back. I'm not shutting this off. The boogers are gone. There is no more bears in the cave. Not even a little bear cub. I said it to my niece all the time. But listen, so divorce. Some of you with your paragraphs of desperation on and reflecting on divorce. I'm sorry I'm laughing at your pain. Not really. So we seem to have a couple of issues with this divorce debacle. So here's the thing. What I've noticed is the people who said, and they hell yeah divorce, which means they were okay with divorce, seem to have the longest paragraphs on why divorce ruined them. So then you have the people who said hell nah. And with small caveats, little small sentences like, hey, unless, he cheated, or unless he beat you, or unless she beat you, or unless she cheated, or, whatever, unless she was sleeping with your brother, which was one of the answers, which is a little too specific, but, here we are. So what I found was, here's the thing. If you're gonna hell yeah divorce, and it ruined you as a child, as a parent, as whomever, it saved you and ruined you. Here's my thing, and I think I'll surprise a lot of people with this answer, especially coming from me. I don't care what you do, but I do think one thing. I have not been married. I'm 33. Haven't been married. Sorry, this is insane. I'm 33 and I have not been married. And here's the reason why. Most of my friends, most of my buddies, some close buddies, have gone through messy breakups, messy divorces. We'll talk about divorce specifically, not breakups, because that's trash. Messy divorces. And I've had a lot of friends, I had a lot of family give me the examples of what I don't want in a marriage. So for me, here's what I think. I think if you're going to get married, I think if you are going to do it, if you're going to go full send with this person till death do you part, you should take it seriously. The vow is till death do you part, sickness and in health. Now, here's the other end of that coin. I think a lot of females want a wedding, not a marriage. I think a lot of them want a wedding. They want a party where they're the center of attention. It's nice. Trust me, I'm the center of attention a lot. I'm usually not in a white dress. I probably couldn't pull off white because I'm not a virgin. But anyway, so the thing is I think a lot of you want a wedding, not a marriage. And I think a lot of guys get kind of pushed into the situation, which I think is weak. If you're a dude that's getting bent, into marrying somebody you don't want to marry, don't do it. I did it myself. I actually was engaged. And I was fully I was like, this is what I need to do. It made sense. And I remember my feelings. I wrote them down, so I know. I didn't feel pressure from people, maybe a little bit from my current, it was my girlfriend at the time, but I really felt pressure from myself because I felt like, hey man, you need to do this. This is the way to do it. You need to step up. And there was a part of me that wanted to be, in that, but I wasn't looking at all the variables. I wasn't looking at, do you want that mother and father-in-law for the rest of your life? Do you want that person for the rest of your life? Do you? So really think about it. And then after, I did it, you propose to the person and then much later you're like, oh no, what did I do? You won't speak up. So you're not really talking about it. So then you just do it anyway, and then you screw yourself. So I think it takes a lot of courage to stop a wedding before you get married. So here's my thing. With all that being said, take marriage seriously. It should be something that you take very, very seriously. I think that people don't take it very seriously, and that's what, screws everybody up. So remember, it's more than just a party. It's more than just a celebration. It is a commitment to the other person for the rest of your days. So I think once you kind of if you say it like that, I think we'd start to see people getting married a little bit older. I think you'd start seeing people progress their relationships maybe a little bit more slower. And I think it would go a long way. And it would stop ruining all these kids because, man, your comments are brutal. I mean, it was paragraphs of well, I think that divorce is, you need to be able to you got to be able to get a divorce because, what happens if they're abusive and they're this and that? And I'm like, yeah, I'm with you, but you should have known that before you married them. You know what I mean? I'm not saying stay in an abusive marriage. That's ridiculous. But what I'm saying is don't get married until you absolutely are sure. Do not get married until you are absolutely sure. Do not hit full send on marriage until you absolutely know. Is that fair? Cool. So I'm actually going to, this might surprise some of you. I'm going to hell no divorce. I think if you marry somebody, you got to marry him for life. My throat. This is what happens when I talk about marriage. I have an allergic reaction. So I'm going to say hell not to divorce. And 63% of you said hell not to divorce. And 37% of you said hell yeah to divorce. So we're going to learn some lessons. We're going to learn some lessons today. Now, we're going to get into something, and I wanted to be able to talk to some of you about this, but I guess, we'll have to, settle on the the X amount of percentage that was on here. So, new study reveals 8% of men think they can be a lion in a fist fight. So, what we have here is 8% of men think they can be a lion in a fist fight. Okay. Here's what I have to say about that. I have seen some of the most dangerous knockouts. I've been around some very large, men, very aggressive, men. I've trained, 6'6", 260-pound men. I've seen, some of the greatest champions. I mean, what is it? Francis Ngannou. He's an absolute savage, just a massive human being. So scary. John Jones. I mean, we'll Mike Tyson. Let's name some of these. Sonny Liston. Jack Dempsey. Let's name some of these tough guys, real tough guys. If somebody said Sylvester Stallone, I'm gonna slap him in the face. So it's like, let's really get into naming some men that are real badasses. George St. Pierre. Those types. DC. You know where I'm going with this. Very, very tough men. I'm going to say that all of them, even at the same time, let's say at the same time, got into, let's say an octagon, just because I named a lot of UFC fighters, with one lion that's been starved for like 2 weeks. All of them are getting torn apart and killed. They're all getting torn apart and killed. None of them make it. They all just die a very terrible, terrible, terrible death. So I don't even understand how 14% of you said that you can actually beat a lion. There was somebody who tagged somebody here. I got to look at it because, let's see. Taylor. Yep, it was Taylor. She tagged Justin Rogers. He is an athlete, and he is he looks like an extremely strong man. Wow. Holy shit. Yeah, this dude is looking like a savage. Holy shit. Very strong young man. So, she's saying that Justin Rogers could probably kill a lion. And although this dude is fucking just jacked city right now, I wish I could call this guy right now and just be like, dude, do you think you could take on a lion, like a full-grown lion, all by your lonesome with your bare hands? So, Justin, if you're hearing this, Justin Rogers, I full-on respect to you. You are, I think what are you deadlifting right there? Jesus. 666 for 2. He squatted 686 for 2. Holy fuck. That's insane. But listen, I'm sorry, dude. I think you're getting killed by that lion. You know what I mean? So Justin, listen, respect, but I think you're gonna die. And I guess we'll never know. I would really like to test this out, but I think we both would get. I think everybody would get arrested that's involved in this. I'm looking forward to the time we can do that. So, yeah, I'm gonna say obviously no. Almost nobody is taking on a lion. Maybe there's like one guy who gets lucky, like Three Stooges the lion in the face and the eyes and just boink, and just does it like that. Maybe, but I doubt it. So I'm obviously going to hell no that, and 86% of you agreed with me. So let's get on to that. So really quickly, the very last one, we have class reunions, and I wanted to thank Sue Schwank. So what up, Sue? Thank you for your submission. I appreciate it. That class reunions, that getting together with some people that you don't really want to see, or maybe you're trying to impress somebody because you got your tots done. You're there, you're just shaking your jubblies, in your crush's face, and he's married to the girl he met at the supermarket that was kind of cute, and he's miserable. Maybe, I don't know. I've never gone to a class reunion, so I don't know. I don't even have a class, I think. I graduated from night school, like I got my GED, and it was good enough diploma, so maybe I can graduate with some of those guys. Actually, I think most of them are in prison. Actually, I could tell you for a fact that 3 of them are in prison, the dudes that I took that test with. And, so I think there comes a time where it's like, I'm okay with not dealing with the people that I went to school with. So I wasn't very good in school, so I think people just kind of remember me being a bit of a drifter. But as far as for everybody else, I can just go back to my hometown and I can tell you how most of them are doing. There's, what is it with, if it's a dude, it's always like an Andrew. Like there's always an Andrew that you're like, oh, what's Andrew? Oh, Andrew's doing the same thing. He's drinking at the same bar. Yep. He's like, hey man, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while. And you're like, hey, what's up, Andrew? And he's like, no, nothing, just kicking him back, doing that work, and he tells you how much he's making, which is always annoying. You're like, hey, how you doing? He's like, good, making, $20 an hour now, over at the plumbing store. And you're like, oh, all right, well, that's good, Andrew. Thanks. It's really nice talking to you. And it's always like that. And then if, with the girls, it's always some girl named Jess and she's still at the bar and she's still bartending. And then, you're like, good for you. She makes good money, but you see that she's getting weathered, that she only has probably about 2-3 years till those things start to drop and people stop tipping her as much and all the guys stop paying attention to her. And, it's rough. It's rough out there. Okay. She's slathering on fake tanning, now because she can't get outside because she's working her ass off. It's like, we know how they're doing. I can tell you. But the class reunions, for me, I actually would get along with just about everybody, because I was such a, crazy shithead when I was a kid. But I think that now a lot of people, I've kind of talked to a lot of people on Facebook and Instagram. It's been nice. And it's been nice to catch up with some of them. So, I mean, I still think, like class reunions, I'm going to say, hell no. I'm okay. Like if I talk to you, like I got a Facebook request from these 3 kids, 2 of which of those kids I've punched in the face. Like I've slapped, like, okay, yeah, sorry. They don't deserve me to punch them in the face. I slapped this kid like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And your friend requesting me now. Like, dude, I will slap you now. Like I can't, like, there's no way that you evolved into a good person judging by, your backwards patterned Yankee hat, your large, earrings and your neck tattoo. There's no way that we're going to get along right now. You know what I mean? And I hate to be that guy that says don't judge, but I'm going to say sometimes you can judge. I doubt we're going to get along. Okay. So I slapped you then and I would slap you now. So there's no point sometimes in catching up with people. Sometimes it's like we just got to move onward. Let's meet new people. Let's meet new friends. And I've had new friends now, coming in and good friends, people that you can really rely on. It's hard to make friends when you're in your, late 20s and 30s too, by the way. Because it's weird. You're just like, are you just like, hey, you want to hang out? Like, that just sounds weird being that this age. But, I guess sometimes you have to do what you got to do. So, yeah. But, sometimes that's how it happens. So I'm gonna say hell no to this class reunion. It's just not for me. So and 60% of you said class reunions, hell no. Okay, and 40% of you said hell yeah. So class reunions are out. So now we are going to do a little segment,
and it's anonymous confessions. So, anonymous confessions.
I was fighting with my brother, and I shot out my dad's truck window with a BB gun. But he never found out because we covered it up by saying it was an accident while playing with baseball. Oh, hey now. Listen. I think you need to talk to your dad. I think you got to come clean. You got to come clean because there's some things that I should have told my dad. My dad, passed away and now I can't, tell him. And sometimes I sit up at night and I'm like, man, I really should have told him that. And no, that's not true. I told my dad just about everything, even the nitty gritty stuff. So it really helped clear my head. So Anonymous will be very discreet. Anonymous confessions. I had a threesome in a church parking lot. Damn. Oh, boy. That goes from telling your father to definitely don't tell your father that. Yeah. So having a threesome in a church parking lot, would it be worse going in the church or in the church parking lot? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I think for some people that's desecration. I think you're trying to flirt with desecration, which could be hot. I mean, hey, that's fine. That's fine. You know, if the good Lord is everywhere, like really, if we're thinking about it like that, I mean, if he's everywhere, he sees you, while you're sleeping. He sees when you're, no, that's Santa. No, that's Santa. Santa's kind of the same. They have the same like power. I just think that, a threesome in a church parking lot. I mean, I just hope all of you had fun. I hope that all three of you, really, really had a good time. I don't want one of you to not have a good time. And that's the risk when you have more people involved with you doing love and doing sex, is that one of you might not be having a good time. And I want all of you to have a good time, because that's just I'm a people pleaser. I just want everybody to have a good time. So, I think, that's good for you. And, obviously, keep it up, keep up the good work. I think good for you. And, I've had, some onesomes, that are really good. I think when men brag, they don't usually brag about a lot of onesomes, but, been pretty good at doing onesomes. So, or solo stuff. I've been doing really good with solo. So listen, I mean, keep doing what you're doing. So listen, today, super excited. It was a great time, great segments. We got, those were great. And, thank you all. I didn't even take the 4 seconds to make sure you like, share, and subscribe, or I'll come to your house. I'll find you and I'll drag you into a parking lot with a friend, and it's going down. Understand what I'm saying? We're doing threesomes in a parking lot. So I was waiting until all the captions have come in, and they did. But I think you got to go with the people who have voted on the comment that was liked. So on this very embarrassing photo of me right here in this camp chair, there it is, extremely embarrassing. I think Laura Dubourg took it. The mother of my nieces. I have to say that she probably, she took that one. She gave me a good roast. Thank you, everybody, for your comments on Instagram and on Facebook. It is an extremely embarrassing photo. I agree. And I should be ashamed of myself, but I'm not ashamed of the Trulies, okay? Got to watch my waistline. I'm a thick bitch, okay? So, Laura Dubourg, you get $25 to whatever you want. I don't think you're a Dunkin' Donuts drinker. I don't know how you could say that or do that in New England, but here we are. All right. Shout out to Laura. Thank you. Thank you all. I'm out. All right, listen. I'm out. You guys have fun. Later. So good.